Hey guys, welcome back to Homestead Prepping and Survival. Today I'm going to do a bare minimum get home bag. And what I mean by that is if you can get home, before dark, 12 hours or less type thing, this is what I would suggest that you have in your bag. Now I've weighed this bag with the med kit on there. This little bag weighs 14 pounds. And a couple of pounds of that is the get home bag. The medical kit. So you're looking at, about 12 pounds for the bag and about 2 pounds for the medical kit. Now I'm going to go through all of it. I'm going to pull everything out. I took a suggestion from a viewer on my other one that I did on the get home bag. And I backed the camera up just a little bit. I'm going to show you where I get the items from in the bag. This is a much smaller bag than my normal, what I call get home bag, but I really use that one for if I've got to go get my daughters, my grandkids, that type thing. So this is if I'm at work and I've got to walk home, this would be the type bag that I would like to have with me. So everybody's case is going to be a little bit different, and what I mean by that is if you can make it home in 2 or 3 hours walking, you really don't have to have much of anything unless you're in extreme weather circumstances. And with that being said, South Georgia, we don't get a lot of the extreme weather. So when we do, you're already going to have your jacket and warm clothing and all that stuff. You're not going to need to stop and change that. So this is basically, if you can get home in less than 12 to 18 hours, 24 hours max, this would be the minimum what you need to have in that bag, okay? So we're going to start with that. As you see on the very front of the pack, which is furthest from you, I've got the medical kit strapped on there to where it comes off fairly easy. All I've got to do is pop that one clasp loose and the medical kit's here. Now, hopefully I won't need most of what's in this medical kit, but a medical kit needs to cover what if, and this does. So we're going to open this up and start from the very beginning. I'm going to flip this thing open. This strap velcros down and it holds my tourniquet right there on top. You don't even have to unzip anything. It's right there. If something happens and I need a tourniquet, it's right there on top. So the next thing, this is a very simple medical kit. It's not a $300 kit. I have added some stuff to it and so on. So let's open this all the way up and see what we've got in there. I'm going to leave that part there. The front folds open. So in this little pouch right here up front, I've got a cold pack. So if you bust the thing inside, this gets really, really cold if you need to cool someone off, wound for swelling and that kind of thing. So cold pack will be the first thing. And this is a little Ziploc bag that I put together that's got Neosporin. It's got Ambisol. If you've got a toothache, those things can really hold a person down and stop them from focusing. You need to be able to focus if you're in a situation like that. So chapstick, safety pins, and then the little bitty stuff, insect cream for bites and stuff like that. So this is all minor stuff, but it's in a bag by itself, so I can pull it out and take care of that. Then I keep a thing of dental floss in there because dental floss has 1,000 uses, and if you need to stitch somebody up, that would work in a pinch. All right, and then this front little pouch that folds out, I keep a pen and some folded up first aid instructions, paper to write what's going on, and just in case you need that. It's also got instructions on the back for bleeding and so on. So keep that in there. Then there's another little Ziploc bag that I put together, and in this bag is things like Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and sinus relief. Trying to look, see what that is. It's basically an aspirin packet, and a few other little things, some Benadryl, because you know a lot of people are allergic to bees and wasps, fire ants, and things like that, and you may need a Benadryl. So those are in that. Now that empties the front of this little pouch, so it's not a really big med kit. This is a medium-sized med kit, and I could probably go with a larger one, but then I get everything that I think I need in here, except for 1 or 2 items I've yet to purchase. But I think I can get what I need in this size kit. So then there's a pack for most things are minor injuries, such as cuts, scrapes, you know, things like that. You need Band-Aids and stuff. That's in this Ziploc bag. So I keep things in Ziploc bags just for the simple fact that it helps keep everything dry and separate. And the bag doesn't weigh anything by the time you've added it all up. So, and there's also in this same bag is a Mylar blanket. So if someone's needs to be warmed up or whatever, the Mylar blanket is in this first little Ziploc. So, and then in this bag, I've got some medical tape, 2 different types. It's got all the little things that come in your med kit when you first buy it. And this one, it's got some antiseptic hand wipes, alcohol swabs, little packets of Tylenol, aspirin, and all that stuff. And then I've added some other bandages and gauze and stuff. So if you've got something a little bit more than what a Band-Aid can handle, you've got that. All right. And then, of course, if you've got a wound to where you need to bandage it and that type stuff, you may need to wrap it to protect it from getting dirty and all. So I keep a little ace bandage in there. And like I say, in that first bag is where the safety pins are. So you can wrap a wound up and get it protected so you don't get infection in there. All right. And then I keep a suture kit in it. I don't know how well y'all can see that. But basically, this is sterile needles for suturing, for sewing somebody up. It's just a curved needle with the sutures already attached to it. So there is 7 in this one little package. So that would be more for a more serious injury. But if you need it, there is hardly a substitute for it. So I keep that in the bag as well. So the next thing I do, I've got some splints in here to go with the taping and all. If you break a finger or something like that, you need to splint it. You've got those in that kit you can tape up and, you know, help you keep going. Another thing, I keep a thermometer in there, and that's just because there's so many times in today's time that you actually need a thermometer to see, okay, do I need to medicate now or can it wait? So I keep one of those in there. Could probably take that out, but all right. And then 2 other things I keep. One is these little locking, I call needle nose, but it's basically to help you suture, so you can grab that needle and get into the wound and do your sewing. But they lock together down here when you squeeze them so that you can't pull it open, and it holds that needle really well so you can do your job. And I'm sure, you know, you older folks have seen that on these medical shows and stuff, to where that really comes in handy, because if your hands are all bloody or wet, whatever the reason may be, it's really hard to hold things like that little needle and stuff. And then these are shears for cutting bandages, cutting clothes off, whatever the case may be. You've got a good medical grade pair of shears in the bag. So, and then the next thing I'm going to pull out of here is 4-inch wide emergency trauma dressing. So if you've got a really bad wound and it needs to be, you know, cleaned with the things you've got over here, the antiseptic wipes and alcohol swabs and the Neosporin, all that stuff. If you've got a really serious wound, these are vacuum packed, but you can open this up. It's a 4-inch wide bandage in there, and it's fairly thick. I mean, this is what first responders use in their kit. So I keep a couple of those in there. I could probably get by with 1 instead of 2, but I can fit it in there, so I'm going to keep it in there, and they don't weigh an ounce each maybe, so it's not a whole lot of weight added. So that's just the medical kit, and that is the one that I actually keep on my chest rig that I told y'all about in the previous video. So a little bag, you can order it off of Amazon or eBay or whatever, or North American Rescue. That's a place to get some really good stuff from. But it's got a hole in the bottom of it, so if water does get in there, it can drain out. And that's another reason that I keep things in Ziploc bags, just for the simple fact that, you know, you don't want certain things getting wet and nasty. So anyway, that's the medical kit part of my minimal get home bag. All right, so now we're going to get into the actual get home bag, and we're going to start on the very front of it. And the first little pocket, and I'm going to explain why I chose these items as I go through. But I'm going to start on this front little pouch here. And you've seen it before, a bag of hard candy. So that'll help keep your calories up and your blood sugar up and all that stuff. Because you know, if you're, you know, expending a lot of energy and you don't have time to eat like you should, you need something to help keep your blood sugar up. And it's kind of like a comfort thing too, so if you've got kids with you or whatever, you can give them a piece of that and it'll make them happy for a few minutes. So anyway, that comes in handy. That's all that's in that little pouch. And then we're going to go to the larger pouch up under it. It's double zippered. We're going to come all the way down. And again, this is if you can get home less than a day. You want food that you can eat while on the go. You don't want to have to stop and build a fire and heat things up and do all that. That's extra stuff you just don't need if you're going to be home in less than 24 hours. So I've got some Planters roasted salted peanuts, and I get the salted on purpose because you're going to need it if you're out there working hard and sweating. And I like them better that way. So I vacuum seal a few packs of those. That is a good amount. This is about 4 to 6 servings in each bag. So that's a good way to keep your energy level up and not be starving while you're moving. And you can open this thing up and stick it in your coat pocket or whatever and eat a handful as you're moving, and it doesn't slow you down, okay? And same thing with these food bars that I've vacuum sealed. 410 calories a piece, and I do like the cinnamon one, so that's what I've got here. And again, food, you will need food in that 24 hours, but you don't need to be stopping, building a campfire and all of that stuff. Your goal is to get home as quick as you can. So you need food that you can eat while you move, and that would come in handy. Don't put chocolate stuff in your bag. It's going to melt, period. Okay? It's going to create a mess. So you need things that aren't going to melt, that is palatable to you, that you can intake on the move. And that's what this stuff is for. There's enough there that it can keep me going for pretty much 12 to 24 hours if I needed to. And easy to do. So that's all that's in that pouch. So the first two pouches were caloric intake, calories, food that you can eat while you're moving. So that's all that's in this front pouch here. That's all that's in that pouch. Let's go to the main, or not main, but the first big section. We're going to open that up. And I've got my EMP protected communications radio. I'd already opened it back up. So, and I actually change this rather often. I keep one on the charger all the time. But they'll hold their charge for about 4 to 6 months. But again,
channel mode.
Turn it on. The antenna's in the bag. But you're going to want to be able to communicate with your group or with your family if things have gotten to that point. So we'll set that to the side. You will need a way to communicate, especially as you start getting closer. Let them know you're coming in or that you might need help, that kind of thing. So I keep this kit. You've seen it before. It's got the hatchet in it that's kind of heavy, but I really keep it for this knife here just because, like I've said in the other video, it is a knife that I've used many times to process many animals, and it holds an edge really well, and I know that it's full tang. The steel comes all the way up. This part actually screws into that steel, so I can bang on it if I need to bang on it. I can do things like that, you know, that may need to be done. 12 to 24 hours is a long time if you think about it. So put that back in. I keep that knife with me. And then you're going to need a compass, so I put the compass in this bag. Everyone gets turned around sometimes. There are people that you can put in the middle of town and spin them around twice. They won't know what direction they need to go to get where they're going. There's some people you can put in there, blindfold them and spin them a dozen times, and they'll point exactly where they're headed. The woods are the same way. Some people get in the woods and they can find their way through there and back out. But either way, there's a lot of people, a lot of reasons why you would need a compass to keep your heading the right direction. So, and then this is that little saw that we talked about in the other video. And I told you then why I keep this in my bag, because it's lightweight. It can cut pretty much any log from, you know, 8 or 10 inches diameter down to, you know, wrist size, couple finger size, whatever you need to do. I like it. It's lightweight. It works really well. So if it works, stick with it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. This may come in handy. You may need to cut a couple of limbs. If you've sprained an ankle or a broken arm or whatever, you may need to cut some limbs, or someone with you have, just to splint something up, and you need a way to cut it. So this comes in really handy for that. And that's all that's in that pouch. So we're going to go to the large main pouch. This is just a bag that came from Walmart several years back, but you can get pretty decent bags if it's you know, for this type thing. I wouldn't want to go camping with this for a week, but for what we're using it for, this bag works. So we're going to go to the first inside zipper compartment, and in there, and the reason I put it in there is because that's a tightly woven fabric. It's water resistant, and then in the Ziploc bag you keep your tissue and your toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So that, everybody's got to go, so keep that in your bag. Second thing I do keep in this one is a inexpensive headlamp. And the reason I use this headlamp when I've got a dozen other kinds is because it takes 3 AAA batteries, so the weight is really down. It lasts a long time, and it has a high, medium, low setting. It doesn't do any of the strobe mess, different colors, all that. If you need light, this will work, and it lasts a very long time on those batteries. So I would keep some type of light source in your get home bag. Next thing is that mini Sawyer water filter and the water tablets in that Ziploc bag that I've showed before, and then my stainless steel canteen with the water bottle that could attach to this so I can get more water if I need to. Now this is, you know, you got a 20-ounce bottle and you got a 32-ounce canteen. That's enough water, because for me, I know exactly how far I've got to go and where I'm at. And I keep, you know, in my office at work, I've got a little refrigerator with a gallon of tea. Everybody knows me, knows it's in there. So I'm not going to start off already dehydrated. But this will help me get home to where I don't have to focus on trying to find a water source. I can go quite a long whiles with this without getting dehydrated. So that's all that's in the bag. You don't need clothes. You don't need to change everything. None of that. If you're just getting home, bare minimal things, you're not, I mean, I'm a smoker, so I've always got a lighter with me, but you're not going to need fire starter kit and something to cook food in and meals and all of that stuff. You're not going to need spare change of clothes. It doesn't matter. If it's only 24 hours or less, the object is to get home as fast as you can with as little effort as possible. So you don't want to tote a 30, 40, 50 pound bag to get there. So in this case, we're using a very lightweight backpack. And honestly, the water, the stainless steel 32-ounce container, the 20-ounce bottle, that is probably a third of the weight of all this stuff combined. So if you can do with less than that, great. But water's something that we all need, and if you get injured, you need to flush that out with good, clean water. So you need to keep some with you. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate it. I hope I showed you a little something that gets your gears turning, gets your mind going, what you're doing. Some of you noticed my shirt, keeping it Dutch. I watch him religiously. The man him and his family are awesome. They're building their off-grid homestead from scratch, and give him a look. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. Probably doesn't know I exist, but that's fine. I watch him. I watch Arms Family Homestead. I watch Walker Farm Fam. Quite a few others out there. The guys are awesome. The ladies as well. But anyway, I try to support them when I can. But guys, I do appreciate it. If I forgot something, give me a comment down there. Send me an email. Go to the About section on my page, and it'll give you my email and all, so you can message me. I look forward to that kind of stuff. And I try to respond to everyone that I can, or at least the ones that require a response. And, I thank y'all very much. So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And share the page, share the videos when you can. It helps me grow the channel. I thank y'all very much. Remember the two things I always tell you. Jesus loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe.